Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue, Black, Burn with no reserve list cards. You can build this deck for a few $100s, and it features such standout creatures as Dragon's Rage Channeler, Nethergoyf, Moonshadow, and Orcish Bowmasters, and this annoying new creature, Hexing Squelcher. The reason I put this in is because if we were up like against Beanstalk or something, it makes it painful for them to target our creatures, sure. But the real reason is Chalice of the Void. We don't want to get locked under Chalice. If you look, almost everything in our deck is a 1-drop. So Chalice is pretty brutal against us. And I have Bowmaster, which can potentially help close against like Moonstompy or another Chalice deck. But it's nice to also have Hexing Squelcher here that we can draw to. And I think that 6 2-drops is about where we can go as far as topping out our curve. We have a total of 16 lands plus the 4 petals to ramp our creatures out. By putting Hexing Squelcher in the main, it allows me to not play the artifact destruction cards so that we don't have to worry about Chalice. And instead, we can just play the better anti-combo cards, which are Thoughtseize and Pyroblast, which is quite good against show and tell type strategies. It's also decent against Doomsday and things like that. And then we have Leyline to help us with Graveyard, and we've got 3 to Fatal Push in case we get into a matchup where like cards like Lava Spike are less useful or Fireblast are less useful, and we just want to be able to reliably kill creatures. So this is particularly good against Barragoyf. I'm not 100% on this sideboard configuration, and I'm not 100% on going down to 3 Bowmasters to get 3 Sculptures in. We'll see how this league treats us. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Hitogoroshi 80, who is, if they were born in 80, the same age as me, which is cool. And we have a pretty good hand. Let's see. We don't know much about what they're on other than they're likely on the Stifle Knot, Dress Down type deck. They do move around a little bit. We can look at their history here. In Legacy, it's almost always Stifle Knot, but they've played some Grixis in the past. I mean, this is a turn 1 Nethergoyf, and then we have lots of interaction. I think I'm going to keep it. This will be a test of Squelcher. We also can fetch Surveil. I would like to have a Moonshadow opener, but I think this is good enough. All right, so, of course, we are playing Shock Lands instead of Dual Lands to reduce the cost of our deck by, $1,000 or so. So we're going to take some pain. Now we'll drop this, and it is pretty vulnerable. We have plenty of mountains for our 1 Fireblast. By the way, I stand by playing exactly one of these. It's hard to imagine a game where you'd want to cast more than one of these. And I would like to actually be able to bring my Netherwolf back, but if they're on exile-based removal, that probably won't be an issue, and they are. So I'm looking, okay, that's fine. So I think here, Petal makes it a lot easier. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to bolt this out of the way, but I'm going to cast the Squelcher first. So there's nothing they can do about this unless they want to Solitude this with this on the stack so they don't have to pay the ward. Now I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this uncounterably. And now we can hit him for 3 with the Goyf. You are welcome to attempt to counter that. Yeah, that was a pretty big punt on my opponent's part, unless I'm missing something. Yeah, they acknowledged the punt. They said, yup, lol. Yeah, it's pretty brutal if you're on a blue deck and you have to face this. I feel bad because I'm usually on the blue deck and I'm a traitor. You were supposed to be the one to save the Jedi. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie since it came out. I didn't watch it a second time. It was a terrible movie. Sorry for any prequel fans out there. Okay. They said, haven't been playing in a couple of weeks. First time seeing it. Okay, so this is, scary because it doesn't matter how far we get ahead. They're very clearly representing. That's a very good pickup. So I will play this out, and it can't be countered, so we can trust that it's going to get in. I can fetch Surveil now. I might be able to put a type in the yard. There we go. Yeah, that goes in the yard, and grows our squad, and they're not dead on board, but with this Fireblast they are, I think. Uncounterable Fireblast. They're 10. Yeah, they're dead next turn. Crazy. Unless they can interact with this, and they're going to lose a lot of life in the process of interacting. So I will just go ahead and come across Does this do anything? Yeah, it gives us a look. If we want to get another type in the yard, I can dodge that. Let's go ahead and look at their hand. They may have like a blocker, but I'm not going to show them the Fire Blast, of course. They may try to protect their life a little bit here. So we'll wait till they're at 1 and then I'll do it. So what they're planning to do is flash in the guy that gives them a giant dude, but they're not going to get that far. And that's uncounterable unless they want to remove this, which will kill them. That was brutal. Okay, yeah, this card is good against blue decks for sure. So Pyroblast can get in the deck. Fatal Push is actually really good because it can take out Dreadnoughts. I may have failed to articulate that was what we were up against, but like they just go get Dreadnought and it's pretty brutal, but luckily Fatal Push is there to save us. They are not a Wasteland deck. I mean, generally you can't play both Wasteland and Urza Saga, so we don't need to worry about that. On the draw, I could shave a land. I think I'll do that. I don't even think they play Daze. Yeah, I'm not seeing any Dazes, and I think they would be sideboarding them out anyway against Hexing Squelcher deck. Like this main deck configuration is very good, and it's going to get even better with Pyroblast. Oh, what are the blue cards we want to stop? Stock up, obviously. That's really it. They're barely blue. Tomio. Okay. Yeah. So we do need to shave some more cards. My instinct is to trim on the burn. They may have Rest in Peace, which is brutal, but it's slow. I don't think Fire Blast is where we need to be, especially if I'm trimming a land on the draw. Because I can see, well, another wave coming. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we can cut some more burn. Yeah, burn is not particularly good against them, frankly. Like, what is good is getting a threat out. If they get Null Drifter, it's pretty brutal. This is a freaking snap keep. My goodness, this is great. I wish it had a pedal in it, but I'll absolutely keep this. So I'm just going to Moonshadow, and then it's going to get plowed or removed somehow for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. We'll pay the life. Black for Moonshadow. Then we'll just go ahead and grow it all the way. And just pretending that they don't have stack interaction. That's fine. That changes nothing. Well, yeah, maybe I do want to keep a bobble for DRC, but I don't really care. I'd rather just draw into nutty, powerful cards. Okay, yeah. Let's look at a random card. I could have timed that a little differently. Okay, their card in hand is an Ancient Tomb. So we could be looking at like something twisted next turn. Most likely just a stock up. Another Goyf. Bowmasters is nice. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to DRC and Nethergoyf here. Gosh, they got the stock up in under the Pyroblast. That's unfortunate. So we can hit a dress down. I don't want them to dress down into something brutal. In fact, what I'd like to do is blow out the dress down because they probably took all their stack interaction out, maybe. So I think I DRC and then I just hold up the Pyro. I would have loved to have drawn a pedal there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this and then we'll see what they do here. But I don't want to commit the Netherwolf yet. So we're not even close to Delirium here. Oh yeah, give me that stock up. I'm going to Pyro that. Okay, and whenever you can spend 1 mana to stop something your opponent's spending 3 mana to do, it's a good turn. They may have a force here, but do they even force it through? That goes in the yard. That grows. All right, we stopped that. Now we're Delirious. Fetch land. Fetch. There's probably a Plow or a Prismatic Ending, I would imagine. Tomio. Okay, that's fine. So I will probably just bolt her out of the way. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. I think I just bolt here. I can attack first and give them the opportunity to block. They may just block anyway, so there's an argument for not giving them a choice. Let's see, if I just attack, do I even care about her? I don't really. I could play out the Nethergoyf just to have a little bit more aggression here. I'll just see if they want to block here. Okay, they are not blocking. I do need to get her off the table. I don't want them to delay my action there. Okay, so this goes in the yard. That's a nice dodge. I do have to fetch Surveil now. I don't have a land. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. That goes in the yard. Let's think about this. Do we want to deploy the Nethergoyf or do we want to hold up the Lightning Bolt? I'd rather deploy the Nethergoyf. They may just have Null Drifter, and that's a pity. But I'll trade for the Null Drifter. They'll get so many cards out of it if they have what I think they might have. Stock up again. There's Null Drifter, and they may be able to consign the trigger. So they get 2 cards. Okay, that's great. Now what are they going to do? Okay, they're holding up something else probably. I don't know what it is. Plow maybe? Gosh, we are ripping so many lands. We dodged a lot of lands though. So I'm going to fetch first just to get it out of the way. So if I find something I want to keep, then I can actually keep it. Gosh, so many lands. All right. I'm going to go ahead and come across and we'll see what they do here. They're technically dead on board if they don't do anything. I think they're going to plow one of these. I think we just accept that. They take 3 here. I do kind of want a Bowmaster now so they can't cantrip. Because there is a way they could they could dress down. If they had dress down though, they probably would have just used it to make take away all the abilities. So we need them to get greedy and tap one of these and then we can probably bolt them out. They'd need to tap 2, but they're very dead on board. It feels like a pretty good matchup, but generally non-blue fair decks are going to beat blue fair decks, and their deck is fair. It's got kind of a combo-y things that it does, but I think we just bolt them now. Now they're super duper dead. They have to do so much to get out of this. Hexing Squelcher is, I'll keep it. Okay, they're at 1. I don't know what they could find. They'd have to find land and dress down, and they're still dead. Good games. All right, round 2. We're up against a likely Ocelot Pride mid-range deck. This is a very powerful deck. It's a deck that I respect a great deal. I don't like the sheer volume of lands. We don't have Brainstorm to put lands back in our deck. Also, Chain Lightning, I just feel like we can do better than this. I mean, this is a turn 1 DRC with Bobble. I guess I'll keep it. I'm just worried that we're going to draw lands. I've got 15 lands in the deck. Or 16 lands. Okay, they're rolling to 5, so they could be on a different deck. Because usually, Ocelot Pride, mid-range, it's not going to mull that much. They're not revealing a companion or anything. Sometimes the Ocelot Pride will play the Gigantha. The way that they're thinking so hard about their mulligans makes me think that they're on some sort of combo. All right, so they've played Ancient Tomb, and they're passing. Interesting. I'm not sure what deck would mull that aggressively and then just play Ancient Tomb and pass. Could be like a Moon Stompy deck. I'm going to go ahead and shock and play my DRC. They don't have Chalice, but they could draw it. All right, we're going to bin basically anything here. Just trying to get closer to Delirium. Moonshadow is find a bin. I think it's a second threat. I really like this to be the first thing that I do, like the first turn. But considering they have Ancient Tomb and that this can get big and it's evasive, I think I am actually going to keep it. I wouldn't normally do that, but that basically guarantees we're not going to get Delirium for next turn, unfortunately. Okay, so they're on freaking... Okay, never mind. Now I understand what deck they're on. They're on the Raw deck. So Moonshadow is not going to be particularly strong here. We are lucky. They kept a hand without a red source. Okay, so here, it's pretty simple. I want to go ahead and play this out. Now we're going to grow it. I will shock myself. My life total doesn't matter in this matchup. You're really just dead when they combo off. And they can generate an arbitrary amount of storm and grape shot you for however many they need to. So we'll grab another Blood Crypt. Coming in untapped. I'm going to go ahead and Chain Lightning right now. I'll yield. Lightning Bolt is another type, so it's going to the yard. And is that Delirium? That's Delirium. All right, that's great. So we can hit for 3 here. Our hand doesn't really do anything against their deck. We're just lucky. This is going to be a tough matchup. I will bring in the Thoughtseize. Okay, I think we're going to win now because we're bricking so hard. So many freaking lands. Yeah, I mean, I sadly do have to fetch. I want to get this Bowmaster on and just do as much damage as I can. It sucks to pay that much life. We've paid so much life. Price is too damn high. All right. That goes in the yard. That grows our Moonshadow. So now we're hitting for 7. They're on a 2-turn clock. Well, they're on less than that. Is there a way we can win this turn? Protect for 7. And then if they tap, then we can surprise them and they're dead. I think that's how we do it. Yeah, so keeping the Moonshadow was actually fine just because we are goldfishing basically. We're not being a very efficient goldfish. I like to kill on turn 3. But we'll see what they do here. They can't block either of these cards with Raw. Okay. I'm not going to contribute to Storm. I'm just going to wait and see if I can get lucky here. Yeah, that's fine. Every time they cast a spell, it does damage to them. So if that happens, I can just ping them to death. If they lose life here, they do. All right, let's just kill them. And they operate at sorcery speed, so I don't expect them to be able to do like anything at instant speed. Yeah, that was good. That was lucky. Very lucky. So I actually do think we bring in Leyline just because our matchup is so bad, and they use the Dream, it's Storm of Dreams, I think is the name of the card. Thoughtseize gets in. Cards that we want to take out. Hexing Squelcher doesn't do a damn thing against their deck, I don't think. They don't target our creatures. They don't counter our spells. Bowmaster barely does anything. In fact, I'd argue it's like it doesn't really do anything. It's just an expensive card. So now we've got it's fine. They're not going to stop 1-drops. So we're on the draw. I can trim a land. I want to keep all my burn in. I just want to end the game as quickly as possible. Yeah, I'm not sure what to take out. Lava Spike obviously is just generic burn, but it might be good enough. I've already taken out a land. I'm not going to take out another one. I guess it's probably Lava Spike. I'm not going to take out Fire Blast because it can help end the game. And we just brought in a bunch of sorceries. So now we have lots of ways of getting Delirious. Yeah, let's do it. That is kind of cool. Just completely cutting the 2-drops and just being a 1-drop dot deck. This is insane. This is the God Hand. We'll keep this. Of course, we're now drawing 2 cards that are less good in our deck. But, I mean, I'm going to make this Moonshadow gigantic. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get the land, and I am going to shock it in. And then we're just going to get this Moonshadow huge and put them on notice. And then next turn, DRC will come down. Moonshadow. We're probably going to draw a bunch of cards like Leyline of the Void, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and see their hand first, I guess. No, I'll just cycle through these first. I think we're going to draw a bunch of redundant crap, and we're basically just going to have to win through Moonshadow Brutality. Okay, that's good. That's great, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and play this out, and I'm going to DRC now. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith again. Another Moonshadow is not that big of a deal. In fact, I don't think it's necessary. That is going to stay right there. I do want to draw that for next turn. It's one of the few cards I was looking for. Okay, so we'll bobble them. All right, and this is going to be like a full-size boy next turn. Let's see. We have Artifact, Instant, Land. We don't have any instants, so we'll get a sorcery next turn, and then this will be able to hit for a lot. So we'll just stop here. That was a pretty good turn, but not an aberrationally good turn. We have turns like that all the time with this deck, thankfully. So I don't think they're going to be able to win this turn, and they're going to take so much damage because I'm going to Moonshadow, then I'll fetch, then I will Thoughtseize, and then they're going to take... I think there's a good chance that they're going to take 10 next turn. And, of course, they're going to have to win the subsequent turn. Sure. Ruby Medallion. Okay. Okay, Petal is nice too. So I'll just go ahead and play out the Moonshadow. I'm going to go ahead and just cast Thoughtseize off this. Goif goes to the yard. That's something we can bring up later if we want. Grows the Moonshadows. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them first. No, I need to fetch Surveil first. Okay, one full-size Moonshadow. So grab the Theater. Leyline of the Void. That gets Delirium. Now we're going to go ahead and go black. Thoughtseize. So we're looking to take Seething Song. This is not necessary because if we get another turn, they're just dead. I don't think there's anything they can hide behind. Okay, so we take the mana. I think we just take Rite of Flame. But then if they Burning Wish, they might be able to get a Writing Flame. We don't know whether that's in their sideboard. If we take Burning Wish, they don't have a lot of action. So let's think about this. So they could Write, then they could Rawl, then they could Reckless Impulse. The main thing is we just need to keep them from getting to this. I think we just take the mana here and don't overthink it. They can Burning Wish, but then they have to somehow come up with more mana. I'll take the right. Okay, and now we're going to come across. All right, and from here on out, the game is basically over. Did we get a Bobble Trigger? I don't think we do this turn. So we're not going to see any more cards. We'll just F6 and see whether they can beat us. All right, they are going to Burning Wish here. I don't have a lot of cards in my hand, so they can't use the Jessica's Will. They get a Rite of Flame. Okay, so they did have a Rite of Flame on the sideboard. Now they have 3. Reckless Impulse. Okay, yeah, I think they're going to win now, unfortunately, because they have Storm of Memories. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I think I messed up taking the Rite of Flame because I just facilitated them getting like an even bigger thing. Okay, now they have Raw. They have Storm. Now, the game's over. The odds of them whiffing are extremely low here, unfortunately. And it was my mistake to make, like, frankly. I didn't know that was a card that would be in the sideboard. I figured it'd be main deck. But I did mention it as a possibility, and I was unfortunately correct there. So we'll see. Like, no, they have the Burning Wish in the yard, right? No, it gets exiled, so they don't have access to the Burning Wish. So they could whiff, but like, come on, they're not going to whiff. All right, we can move on. Okay. So I think that's a situation where if I just take the Burning Wish, they may not be able to go off. But it's hard. It's scary because Storm of Memories is really a 4-drop, and they would have already had 3 mana. Yeah, I am going to keep the deck the same as it is. I'll bring a land in since I'm on the play. I don't like to shave a land when I'm on the play. And then I will take out a Chain Lightning. Let's do it. So we're going to be looking for a Leyline hand ideally. That was our draw for the first turn, unfortunately, with the previous round. Okay, this is a turn 1 double turn. Yeah, this is double Moonshadow on turn 1 with some burn. I think I keep this. Just because it's so forward. Like, it's not necessarily a turn 3, but it's most likely a turn 3. Okay, and I assume that they are going to assume that they have like a clear path to victory here. Again, life doesn't matter. You can just be as aggressive as you want with your life total here. Moonshadow. Okay, now I'm going to play out the other Moonshadow. And then we'll pass, and next turn, we can do a lot of damage. Okay, and they're just passing with a Mountain out. Okay, so Bobble's a great draw. I think we wouldn't do it. Let's see what they're drawing. Seething Song, that's good to know about. That may be death. So what I want to do here is, I think I just fetch Surveil to maximize looks, because I can just bolt the subsequent turn. I'll have plenty of mana. And when I say maximize look, I mean like Moonshadow triggers. Yes! Hook it up! All right, and I might as well Chain Lightning here. I'm not going to hold up the bolt. I'm going to F6 through the turn so I can save sanity. That's also a valuable resource here. And yeah, that also means that they can't send it back. They don't have the mana. So we'll just attack for a mere 9. They're at 8. They're dead on board. Super duper dead. We get a card. Petal. They're even deader. They would have to kill 2 of these. So yeah, double Moonshadow was a turn 3 here, even though we didn't have like a lot of supporting cards. Whether we actually get to turn 3 is up to them. We know they have Seething Song. Yep, this is a lot of mana. They're right at felling me first. Ral. Okay, now Seething Song is cheaper. They have 5 mana floating. I think we're going to lose, unfortunately. This deck is just too good. If they have Storm of Memories, it's the game. Not necessarily, but like I think they'll be able to flip Ral with that. We don't know the storm count. Ren's Resolve. Okay, let's see what this reveals. They are playing very quickly and decisively with Resolve, like Ren. So I guess Ren's thing is like embedding himself in other things like trees and stuff. Here he's embedded in like the scales of some dragon's tail or something. All right, are we dead? Double Mountain. Okay, Reckless Impulse. They flip tails. They're at 4. 5 mana floating. What are the cards? Okay, there's the Manamorphose that they need to flip, and then they can just minus. Yep, they're going to combo off, and the game is over. I'll just go ahead and let them do it real quick, just in case they somehow whiff, but like, how do you whiff? So I see Jessica's Will, Burning Wish, Ren's Resolve. They have 6 mana. There's no way they whiff. The game is over. I'm just going to walk away, but trust me, the game is over. I'm not going to prematurely concede. I'm going to make them win, but I don't have any doubt in my mind seeing the cards I see. All right, and they turn 2 to us. Pretty powerful deck. I don't know why they're even casting more spells. Can't they just kill us? Bonus round is in there too. I don't even think bonus round is the main. Like, I think that's actually a suboptimal card. So yeah, Grape Shot for a lot. They're not going to run out of clock. Good games. They showed us their hand. They had Past in Flames as well. Round 3, we're 1-1 after like the incredible resilient deck. No reserve list deck, by the way. That is Ruby Storm. So we're up against a likely blue-black tempo player, a very good one at that. I don't like this hand. It has turn 1 Moonshadow, and it could grow pretty fast, but like it doesn't have a land. I mean, we could draw into land, but I just don't like this on the draw. Try to play more conservatively. Yeah, this is good. So I'll keep this. We could put back... Bowmasters is pretty good. I don't really want to put it back. We already have an artifact type, so we can just bobble and not use the pedal. I think I like that. And then we're just going to hope to find a second land. Okay, the fetch. Underground Sea. Moonshadow. Oh, very cool. All right, well, I might want to just bolt that. I'm going to go ahead and start with cycling this just to see what I get. Okay, another land. So we have an abundance of land. I'm glad I put back that pedal. I'm going to go ahead and bobble them as well just to get information. Okay, another wave. So they could absolutely... I haven't seen this in blue-black tempo. I'm going to go ahead and shock this in, unfortunately, because, again, I'm playing a shock land. This is one of the few matchups where it matters, I guess. I'll go ahead and bolt here, and if they daze, it's pretty devastating. They don't. Okay, good. We got the Moonshadow off the table, and we're all set up to have a pretty big Nethergoyf, but to some extent, we need to play a little bit control-y because we're on the draw. They started to tap for like a cantrip, like a ponder, and then they remembered that they had their... Okay. Yeah, this is fine. We have bigger Nethergoyfs here. I am worried about Barrelgoyf, though. Okay, Chain Lightning is... I think I Chain Lightning one. I think I'm going to go ahead and Nethergoyf. That's more important because our Nethergoyf needs to be big. And then I'll just fetch and take some ouchie damage here. And I think I'm going to try to bolt one of them. And if they have a daze, they can save it. But they didn't have it previous round. They did have the daze. They do have the daze. Okay. I can't prevent that. But at least I've got a big Nethergoyf on the table. So they don't really have great attacks until they find a Fatal Push. Bowmasters can buy time. It can also mess up combat math. Because they set themselves back a land drop. Yeah, this is unfortunate that they're able to do this before we can establish one of our Bowmasters. If they find a Fatal Push, they've just got tons of damage coming in, and we're probably going to die. This is really brutal, like having these shock lands. Yeah, they found it. Okay. So I will buy some time with these Bowmasters, like just throwing them in front of here, but another Nethergoyf would be welcome, but unfortunately we didn't find it. So what I'll do is I'll just pass, and they're almost certainly just going to attack, and I'm just going to chump one. And if they have a force, that ends this game. I guess I could just switch back to the Badlands version so I don't do so much self-damage and buy some time. Yeah, that sucks. All right. Okay. So against this deck, Pyroblast comes in. Fatal Push comes in. I want all three of them for Barry. Lava Spike comes out. Fire Blast comes out. I don't like playing this against Wasteland decks. And because you just find yourself with like odd numbers of land and you can't really make full advantage of it. I think some Chain Lightning comes out. I like Hexing Squelcher a lot in this matchup. I think I'd take out the other two Chain Lightnings too. We like just have 0 sorceries now, unfortunately. They're on the more aggressive version of the deck too, this playing Nethergoyf. I am going to keep all the Pyroblasts in because I fear Merc as well. And this is good against Tomio. So really it just comes down to like, okay, what are we going to cut? I think we cut a Street Wraith. It's just, it does damage to us. Yeah. This is going to probably be a long game. I know Street Wraith is kind of part of our mana base, but these baubles actually activate with DRC. And they're a Bowmaster deck. Man, that felt really rough. Part of it was because we were on the draw, of course. And we did have to mulligan. Actually, hold the presses. I'm bringing in Leyline. I'm taking out my Pyros. And the reason I'm doing that is because I didn't have time. But, yeah, I don't... This shuts off Merc. This shuts off... Yeah, this will be really good if we have it. This hand is so good that I'm not going to mull for Leyline. Okay, and they didn't have a Leyline. I don't expect them to play Leyline. Because they're a blue deck, and blue decks, as a general rule, don't play with Leyline. They play just force negations and stuff to stop Leyline from being an issue. Okay, that resolves. I'm going to go ahead and cycle. Always yield. We do need to find another land. We did find a land. I'm going to go ahead and just fire this off now. Okay, they have a Brazen Borrower. That's good to know about. So even if we'd found the Leyline, unfortunately, they would have just borrowed it out of the way, and it wouldn't have been maximally impactful. This next turn is DRC, and then we're going to get Delirious, probably off a Bolt, if necessary. Like if they have a threat, then I'll DRC, I'll DRC, and then I'll Bolt. They fetch. Like I'd love to see a Tamio here. I'm really wondering what they did to their deck to fit Moonshadow in there. Thoughtseize is fine. Just doing some self-damage here. Probably put DRC in the bin. Netherglyph can come back in a turn, or 2 turns. Yeah, I don't even know what they choose here. I think they're in a pretty rough spot. I had a very strong start here. And the fact that I drew the second land is really clutch because they can't waste me out now. You have to take the DRC here. Like I'm not sure what they're thinking about. DRC is insane with Moonshadow. Okay. I disagree with that decision. But I don't know what's in their hand. They could bounce the Moonshadow out of play, but it's going to do a lot of damage to them in the meantime. So we'll play the known land. I'm going to go ahead and bobble, or I'll DRC. Okay, now I will go ahead and fetch. I should do this because I might not have to. No, I'm almost certain that I want to. Yeah, that goes in the graveyard. Oh, yeah, we dodged a nice land there. We got plenty of land. So I'll go ahead and see what's in their hand real quick. Then I think I am going to bolt just to ensure I get, well, I don't have to get Delirium until next turn. Okay, Wasteland. Well, I'm just going to fetch Surveil because they're going to bounce this back most likely. So it doesn't matter whether I have Delirium, but it kind of does because like a Bowmaster on this would be pretty annoying. So I think I am going to go ahead and just fetch, shock, bolt. I don't like doing that, but okay. So now, oh, we dodged again. Nice. So now we have Delirium. They are very low in life. If they daze here, they're super duper dead. But like, you know, they could have Fatal Push and they could also have Snuff Out. That would be a very rough spell to cast from this position. And we could brick. There's the high chance we brick. That's actually not a brick because that's not like a total brick. Like a total brick would be a land that we can't use. This at least can be cycled through. Petty Theft, that's fine. I can just redeploy and grow it again. Okay, this is pretty sick. So I'll play this out so I don't get dazed. Moonshadow. Moonshadow. And that should prompt the concession. Just absolutely relentless. Don't call me Aaron. They're dazing that. Okay, well that Moonshadow sees that. I actually could have prevented that. Why didn't I do that? I actually don't know. That was dumb. I should have done that. I'll go ahead and cast this. Hexing Squelcher is fine, but like, I'm just looking for burn, I think. I will go ahead and fetch and surveil here. Yeah, I mean, it'd be embarrassing to lose from this position, but it actually isn't impossible. I'll bin that. I'm going to go ahead and do this just to see their next card. Yeah, if they had like Fatal Push, I would actually be in a pretty bad spot. And I'd have to bring back Netherglyph and win with that. So we get our card before they can bolt. Okay, it's another one of these flying scary creatures. Now Spellbomb won't do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was a punt for me to not just let that like pay for days. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay, so I think I do want Leyline of the Void. I feel like it's going to be good. I'm worried that they're going to have Leyline against me, but I do have Bowmasters and Squelcher. No, I'm not worried that they're going to have Leyline. Again, they're a blue deck. I have to keep reminding myself. I'm used to playing against Moonshadow in the mono black shell. This is the first time I played against it in a blue shell. I do think Pyroblast in some number is warranted here, but I'm pretty terrified of Baragorf. Do I really care that much about like Tamio? If I can get the Leyline in, it's going to be really good. So I think I just mold a Leyline this game. I can trim a land, which is kind of inadvisable against a Mana Denial deck, but I'm going to do it. All right, so we're going to mull until we find Leyline, and then I think that'll be very good against them. This is a fine hand, but again, I told you all that I was going to mold a ley line. We will most likely find a ley line in our next hand. This is vulnerable to Bowmasters is the other thing. Like, we can't get a Delirious, and I'm confident my opponent is playing Bowmasters. Let's mulligan. Still no ley line, but this is a turn 1 Squelcher. Is that good enough? We also have a second one, and it just doesn't feel good enough. I'm mulligan again. They mulled a 5 as well. Now we're starting to get into the, okay, you're kind of crazy here territory. But I feel like all we need is like a Bowmaster, a ley line, and 2 lands, and we've got a pretty good hand. I don't feel confident in this, but like to some extent, like we're going to see who blinks first, but I do want to find that ley line. There's a 40% chance per hand that we see it, and we've seen 3 hands. Let's see it. There we go. I'm going to keep. Nethergoyf is better than DRC if they... let's see. So I think I'm going to keep Nethergoyf and just accept that it's going to be dead if they have Leyline. But it's so much better than DRC in the sense that we're most likely to draw land. I could put back the Theater. I think we put back Theater. Put back DRC. Put back Bobble. No, I'll put back a Goyf. I'll do that. And I think we're going to get Leylined here. And they're going to get Leylined. Okay, well, they didn't Leyline us, so that's huge. That's a good pickup. I'll pay the life. We'll go ahead and play this out just in case. I don't know. I'll see a random card from their hand just like in case we see the days. Wasteland, okay. Well, this is going to be probably our only spell unless they have a daze right now, and then we won't even get a spell. Okay, it's in. So Fatal Push is nice because Tamio is like something that can happen, but we're going to lose this land, unfortunately. We do get a card. They're surveilling into the void. They're looking for Brazen Borrower, most likely. This does shut off like at least half of the creatures in their deck. Okay, that's nice because that gets us closer to a land after they waste us, which is happening right now. Yep, that does grow the Goyf. Do you have the Fatal Push as well? You do. Okay, so we're doing nothing here, but they're down to 3 cards. Hopefully we draw a land. We draw a Leyline. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we'll pass. Strand. Okay, so they've got plenty of lands. So they are very favored from here. Let's find a land. I did shave a land. I should do this now. Just while they can't do anything. Yeah, there's no... Like, they'll definitely take it if they Thoughtseize me anyway, so I'm just going to do it now. Okay, Petal. Nice. So that does something. They're going to be able to shuffle away, like, their graveyard-centric stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they shuffle it away and then they play a Tamio here, which I will probably be inclined to push. Moonshadow. That's just a 1-1 for the game until they can clear this, so I'm not worried about that. I can just ignore it for now. Okay, there's the land. So I will just... I'm going to go ahead and play this out so it doesn't get taken out of our hand. Now I'm going to pass, and I'm 1 mana away from attempting to bring back another Goyf, but I don't think that'd be a good use of my Petal. Wasteland. Okay. So, for those of you who didn't watch the deck, I have no basic lands in the deck, so this has to convert into something good. I'm not going to be just willy-nilly firing that off. Okay, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and do it. And I guess I could Fatal Push if I absolutely need to, but yeah, let's go ahead and try this. Drawing Polluted Delta, so they're kind of flooded, but it's not going to matter because I don't have anything going on. Here's the Bowmaster. So this represents a lot of additional damage, especially because I'm going to draw during... Yeah, I think I do want to push, but they're like getting into Baragoyf country here. I think I just have to push it, sadly. Because it saves us like 3 damage per turn cycle. It's kind of cowardly to push it. But they're down to 1 card. They're going to draw a card. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let it go. And then I'll just push here. And again, I am going to keep this around. They may have another one in their hand, which would be pretty devastating. Yeah, because this is such a low resource game that it's possible that I just die to like these random 1/1s. So we get our card. Do they have another bobble? Another thing. Okay. That's good. That's another Goyf. I will play that next turn, and it'll be pretty big. But, Fatal Push, lots of things they can do to stop it. They could daze it at this point. Okay. Uh-oh. Is this Kaito? That will really suck. I think they're getting Kaito here. Oh, it's not Kaito. Well, that's a relief. So I do have to take 2 damage when I fetch here. That's nice. So now, yeah, I'm going to take the 2 damage. And I'm going to get a giant Nethergoyf that will hopefully beat whatever they have. They don't have Force Up. They can't daze this. Ouch. Black for Nethergoyf. We have a 4/5. Oh, they could do the daze trick with the Wasteland. I should have freaking fetched. Okay, they didn't do it. My opponent just realized that, yeah, I don't have a graveyard, so that's why Moonshadow's not growing. They were wondering whether Moonshadow wasn't growing. So, am I missing something? Why attack with that? Okay, well, I am going to block here. I just can't think of what they could do here. Are they going to bounce that out of play and then do a bunch of stuff? Oh, it's sorry. Yeah. Okay, so they are hitting me there. But like I'm going to race them, I think, from here. Okay, that's fine. All right, so I think here I do want to fetch Surveil. It does hurt. That is going to stay there because that clears Tamio. And that doesn't change the clock at all. But clearing Tamio is a high priority here because I can't kill them quickly. Okay. So they could have a Daze. Here is their last card, which would be pretty brutal. Let's go ahead and clear the Tamio if they will allow it. Do you have Daze? They have the Daze. Okay, we're going to lose now, unfortunately. Yeah, that was brutal. Well, I will come across and force them to at least give up their Orc Army. Or they don't have to. They can just keep attacking me and ignoring me. Yeah, they're very far ahead because they can crack clues. The Daze was clutch, but it did come with the Wasteland. So, you know, the real question is, was the push on their thing a while back, is that going to cause my death? Was that the punt? So I take 2 here. They're tapped out. We're not in mortal danger, but this will eventually overpower us. And I think most of our top decks are pretty bad. Yeah, they're technically racing us. If we get this up to a 5/6, then we might be able to beat them. Okay, so this is an important decision. We can bolt Tamio, and then we just have to race these. That way they won't have Howling Mine active, essentially. But if they have the Brainstorm, then we just attack and kill Tamio, but that means we're definitely not going to win the race. If we attack, like, if we just assume they're never going to draw any interaction at all, I guess in theory we could just skip bolting her and bolt them in the face, and then it doesn't change the race, though, unfortunately. We'll still die before they do. Because they get 3 attacks before we get, well, they'll be at 9. No, actually, it does change the race. I'm going to go ahead and attack. You know what? This was a total punt. I should have just bolted because if they flip Tamio now, it's like really bad. Yeah, let's just do it. They probably have it. Oh, wow. Okay, good. All right. And we're basically like Bowmaster doesn't work. If they find a Wasteland, the game's over. I can hang back with this and they'll just like the Orc Army and the Nethergoyf will stare at each other while the Moonshadow does the job. Yeah, they are winning through combat. Do they have the Kaito as well? Okay. So there's hope. However fleeting. They're fetching. They may just cast Kaito and then stun. That would be a reason to get all this mana out. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Oh. Look at the top 3 cards. Oh, this is a cool version of the deck. Okay. So this is pretty big. We are dead on board now. So we need to clear this, and the only way we can clear this is with a bolt, and we've already used one of our bolts, or a pyro. Yeah, I have pyros. But the important thing is they get to move around cards, and they can potentially find something good. So True Tempo had a build that he was doing this with just as a way to grow your Nethergoyf. And it makes sense. It's actually pretty interesting. I might have to, I wanted to build around that, but that was before Moonshadow even came on the scene. So, well, that's lucky. Unfortunately, yeah, I think we just have to bolt and attack. I'm going to do it. And then we have to draw something to deal with these. Like another bolt, I guess, is like our out. If we find something that can kill Moonshadow, then we can just hang back and buy time. Wait, they're dead on board if they don't have an answer. But what are the odds they didn't find an answer in those top 3? They could just keep this back and attack for 1. They must have found an answer. Tamio. Okay, so if I can push this out of the way, I can push this out of the way, I can still win. Good game. Oh, I can't actually cycle it. I was going to cycle to kill myself. I can't. Good game. All right. The deck feels powerful, but it's not translating into wins. At least not in that matchup. Like, we should have won that, frankly. I think there was something wrong with me pushing the Bowmaster. We were in a low resource scrap, and I was like, but if I had held that, no, I mean, what was I going to push? It's not like there was some other critical must push card that came up. I would have taken so much damage. It's easy to point the arrow at my mana base and say, just play the freaking Badlands and quit trying to be a no reserve list deck when you're a 2-color deck. I think that's probably the real decision that destroyed me, was trying to be a no reserve list deck. Right, round 3, we're 1-2. Fighting for the positive record here. Unknown opponent. This is a turn 1 Moonshadow. I am going to keep this. It's got a lot of burn. We have no idea what they're on. But turn 1 Moonshadow that we can immediately get out of, like poke range, gut shot range. If they waste us, it's pretty bad. And unfortunately, because of the way Moonshadow works, I don't get to see what they're on before I commit to this line. But now I can see what they're on. One card usually gives me an idea. Kaya, Intangible Slayer. So they're on like some sort of huge mana deck. Hexproof. Interesting. Oh, I definitely don't want to give them the opportunity to use that. That would be scary. Okay, so we got our card. Please be land. It is a Bowmaster. Please don't waste me. Surely in your giant Planeswalker deck, you're not playing Wasteland. I think they're on Nic Fit or some sort of big mana deck. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I don't have any basics in my deck. Please don't have something that sacrifices immediately. Okay. So basically, we just have to leverage the fact that this is unblockable. Or hard to block, rather. All right, so options. One, we just double surveil. I don't want to give them the land. I want them to have to sacrifice this. But I want this to get as big as possible. And then I'm going to try to just bolt them out. But I can play out the Nethergoyf just in case they dare attack. Yeah, I think I double surveil here. Or, just try to get this as big as possible. All right, that does grow it very well. So now it's hitting for 4. And do I just want to start bolting them? Or do I want to play the Nethergoyf that can't really attack? I think I'll play the Nethergoyf that can't really attack. We'll come across with our Menace Beat, and we'll pass. All right, they are at 15, and we will pass. So unfortunately, this goes to the graveyard or dies. So if they Thoughtseize us here, or Cabal Therapy, actually, it's pretty devastating. Because then they can flash it back, and then they get a bunch of mana, and they do have the Cabal Therapy. So I'll let them guess here. I am not sure if they would guess correctly. If they do, they get 2 cards instead of 1. They did name Orcish Bowmasters. Very smart opponent. That does grow my Moonshadow, though. They have Kaya in hand. We have to kill them before that gets out on the table, or else the game is pretty much over. We can hit for a lot next turn. Whatever they name is going to grow the Goyf here. They have to play another blocker. So I'm not going to get any lands because I don't have any basics. I would love to if I did, but I'm not going to make that sacrifice for this kind of contingency. They probably get like Plains and Swamp. Oh, yeah. So let's see what they play here. That's a cool looking Swamp. They named the Chain Lightning. So that's our removal card. If they have another Veteran Explorer, it's pretty powerful. Keen-Eye Curator. Okay. So this casts colorless, so they can immediately start growing it. I definitely don't want to have to kill it, but I will if that means I can get in and kill them. They're immediately taking that out. That's fine. So with sorcery and instant, yeah, I can get up there, but I'll have to sack my lands in the process, which is a scary proposition. But I do want to get this out of the way so I can just hit as hard as possible. Let's think about this. Street Wraith. Well, that seems like a pretty good thing to do here. So we're hitting for Bowmaster. I think I'm just going to Lava Spike them. And then I just Fire Blast this. And then they're dead. Because they take... This is the instant type. Yeah, I'll float a red just in case they have like some sort of daze effect. And I'll just hit that. And I'll sack these. And I think this is the end of the game. Like they could have Solitude or something. Yeah, that's exactly 12. Wow, it worked out perfectly. Solitude? We got it. All right, so I don't think the dies trigger gets stopped by Leyline of the Void, unfortunately. I think this is a probably a Thoughtseize matchup. Do I want to do that, though? I would like this direct damage. Squelcher might be good. The fact that they have almost certainly Endurance on tap does make our Netherglyphs less good. I'm kind of tempted to take those out and just bring in... What would I bring in? I mean, like, pretty much our entire deck is vulnerable to Graveyard Disruption. I think I'd leave all this in. I think Lava Spike coming out and Fatal Push coming in would probably be a safe bet. But, you know, I do want to burn them out. I think I'm going to keep it as is. Squelcher doesn't do anything, really. We take Squelcher out and bring in Thoughtseize. I do think Thoughtseize will be good. Squelcher's slow. They won't necessarily kill us immediately, like have the combo like they did previously. But they will have a window where they can cast the Veteran Explorer, and then even if we, Thoughtseize take the therapy, they're going to be able to do stuff. So, yeah, I'll just take out the Squelcher. The Ward 2 is good, but it's not good enough in the context of like the game absolutely has to end as quickly as possible. And that's what we're doing right now. So I think Moonshadow comes out turn 1. Gosh, this feels pretty shaky. I think it's just slow is the problem. I mean, their deck is slow. They mulliganed. If they have Leyline, which they may very well have, this is actually, it's pretty bad. I mean, this is a lot of burn. In case they have Leyline, I'm going to keep it. And we're on the draw, so we might find like a Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal completely changes the texture of this hand, and it becomes an S tier hand. They mulled a 5. I think they're looking for Leyline. Okay, they didn't have Leyline. Please don't have the freaking dude. Okay, this is a relief. I will Thoughtseize this turn instead of Moonshadowing just because now they have the thing that can flash back. I can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck. They did name Moonshadow, so they take my Moonshadow. Okay, I am going to just go ahead and... Well, if I DRC... I mean, they could have Bowmaster. I'm just going to respect Bowmaster. And then... We'll do this as many times as we need to reduce their hand to rubble, but it could just be a bunch of lands over there. Okay, that is good to know about, but doesn't really change anything. Phyrexian Tower means they can destroy stuff on tap anyway. So we're just going to live and die by what they draw here. Okay, Savannah, that was known. They did draw something. Oh no, is this... Okay, wait a minute. Voice of Victory, that gets bolted. At this point, I will get the DRC down first. Before I bother with that, I don't really care about taking some damage. Phyrexian Tower produces mana. Yeah, I need to get a threat on the table. They're going to be able to continue to expand their mana. Essentially they have 5 mana with the Voice of Victory out. It's tough because I want to start killing them, but at the same time, like how scary is the top of the deck? It's pretty scary. I'm going to be brave. And I'll just take a bunch of damage and let them have 4 mana. Because this couldn't get Delirious next turn, basically. I can bolt, and then we have Delirium. So we'll take 3 here. They can Therapy us as well. But they can't take all of our creature removal. So they almost certainly Therapy here. Thoughtseize is complete brick here. I think like if they have anything, they're going to deploy it. They'll probably never have an extra card in hand. They named Lightning Bolt. So Delirium hits. What's your other card? They're on a 3-color deck, so they may have Plow. But I will be killing this next turn. I just didn't want to, not have a threat. So I did want to start cracking at their life. Okay, Netherglyph is great, but I do want to clear this. Petal is artifact type. I'm going to put it down there. I don't really need to draw it that badly. Now we'll come across and, again, if they find like a Green Sun Zenith or something like that, we're probably screwed because they can just chew up our graveyard. I mean, I can't even Fiber Blast it, unfortunately. Green Sun Zenith, and then they have Keen Eye Curator, and then we lose, is how I'm picturing this. Okay, they may have just drawn more land. It's the most common likely thing for them to draw. I think it makes sense to attack first, and then we Street Wraith, and then we Netherglyph. Just so we have more information when we cast these. Endurance! Oh, it's black. Okay, they're dismembering. Is Is there anything I could draw that could change this? No. Okay. They have removed my threat. I will Street Wraith now. I would like to find a land. I do find a land. I'm precariously low in life. I'm going to go ahead and just play this out. And I will just fetch Surveil in the end step. And we'll have to kill them. I can Lava Spike next turn. They know about the Lava Spike in case they draw Cobalt Therapy. Assuming we can use the Fire Blast on them, they're actually pretty close to death. Okay, so they have a card in hand, but we don't know what it is. I don't think it's correct to Thoughtseize here. I think we just ignore it. I think this is a threat, and we should keep it, even though it's not a great threat. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the stack in case they want to like kill this somehow. But it has to, it can't be exiled. Yeah. Okay, we'll come across. Unfortunately, like I probably should have Lava Spike there just in case I need a Fire Blast something here. I think I do need a Fire Blast here, sadly. And then I'll just try to win with a Wimpy Moonshadow. Because that happens. Now, Fire Blast has to happen. And again, I punted by not Lava Spiking. This grows Moonshadow. Endurance dies. Yeah, and they took 2, which is not nothing. And they're living off the top of their deck, but they have a lot of mana and they have a lot of KO type spells in their deck. All right, that is super lucky. Land or Petal, please. Okay, Bobble is nice because it does... You don't have a card in your hand, but I just want to grow my Moonshadow here. All right, and we grow our Goyf as well, which is nice. Let's come across for 6. They are dead. Next turn, if we find land, or really anything that can go to the graveyard. Okay, Chain Lightning. That's an additional type. Okay, this could be another Endurance, but it won't be able to block my Moonshadow. Let's see if we find a land. Go ahead and use this. Are they going to plow now? That is fine. I can't do anything about that. I'll go ahead and see what's in their non-existent hand. Then I will attack. And we're still chilling. Eventually they will draw land. They have a lot of lands in their deck. And then I'll get my window. But they could also draw like, okay, there's a land. So now the Bolt's live. And we can just bolt them twice and win. Unless they have lifelink. All right, so I should go ahead and bolt first before combat. I could Thoughtseize here. Because I think they have Endurance, and I don't want to lose my Nethergoyf, but I don't really care because I'm just going to bolt them out. I guess I'll just go to combat first. I actually can't think of a reason to fetch now. Like, I could fetch Surveil and just kill them here. Do I even have any Surveils left in my deck, though? Yeah, actually, they put one back in. They said GG. Yeah, I'm just going to go and fetch and Surveil here. No, I'm just going to kill them. I don't want to risk giving them another turn when they're saying GG. Okay, that was clean. So we're 2-2. Going to the final game, final match. These have been fun. It's cool to see Nic Fit. Like, that was not anywhere to be seen before the bans. We got to play against a cool blue-black Moonshadow deck. We got to play against Ruby Storm, which is, you know, just like a mainstay. Very good entry point for combo because it's so cheap. Final round, we're on the draw against a likely Doomsday gamer. Doomsday is not a good matchup. Going for the life total is by far the most effective course of stopping them from being able to just Doomsday our faces off. They've kept... Squelcher is good, but yeah, I think Squelcher is more of like an anti-Chalice card than like a Doomsday relevant card. Let's see if we can do better. This is Moonshadow and Nethergoyf. I'm going to keep this. I'll put back Fire Blast just in case we never draw land. But the burn is good. Okay. We'll see if they can kill us. Sometimes they use Dark Ritual Doomsday. Okay, they're not on that. They're on something else. This is a good hand, though, overall. Thoughtseize. Okay, so this is almost certainly going to take Moonshadow. But that means that our Nethergoyf will arrive large, but, you know, they are probably on the black-white kind of mid-range decks that are, like, super, super robust. Okay, so I am going to play this out, just in case they have a Bowmaster. I am going to play on my Nethergoyf. So they know all my secrets except for this land that I just drew. We'll deploy this. But again, like this deck is just going to destroy us. I'll be very happy if I can win even one round against them. There's the Wasteland. They don't know that we drew the second land. So it may make sense to go ahead and waste here. A Johnny. That's fine. So I just want to bolt this out of the way. Gosh, we're drawing a lot of lands. I'm going to go ahead and do this bolt. Here. Now we can attack. I kind of want to fetch Surveil here. If they don't block. Okay, they're not blocking. I'm going to fetch Surveil. I'll just bin that, and it doesn't change anything, but we don't have to take damage because they can do a lot of damage here. Okay. All right, and as I feared, they, of course, have Plow, so we have nothing going on over here. And they have a Amped Raptor. Okay. So we're just going to get buried in card advantage, unfortunately. Guided Souls. I'm going to concede. There's no way we're catching up with all this. Okay. So that Thoughtseize was pretty powerful. Like, I think we might have had a chance if we had 2 threats. So in this matchup, I think it's just Fatal Push comes in. And I'll take out the Lava Spikes. And I'll take out Squelcher completely. I said Lava... Yeah, I'll take out Lava Spike. It is not a Thoughtseize matchup at all. I don't think I can bring that in. At the same time, yeah, maybe we just get lucky and we burn them out before they can stabilize, but they're a lifelink. They're a life gain deck. Okay, so this is turn 1 Moonshadow, turn 2 DRC, double Fatal Push. I like this. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this, and I'll just lead with Moonshadow Bobble. So I'm going to go ahead and crack the Bobble here. Guided Souls, we definitely need to remove that. Luckily, we have the tools to remove that. Hopefully they don't have like Cabal Therapy or something. That would be pretty devastating here. Okay, another Bobble. That helps us draw. That does pair well with the DRC. I will have to clear this. Unfortunately, I can't deploy my DRC until this is gone. So I need to get a land here. I didn't get a land. I'm just going to push this and hold the Bolt. I would like to hold these, but I want to find a land too. So I'm just going to draw through them. And I also want to do more damage. Drawing Clarion Conqueror, so I might as well use them while I can. Luckily, Bolt is a clean answer to Clarion Conqueror when it eventually comes down. So I'll come across... we did take out the most powerful card in their deck, in theory, but they may have like an Amped Raptor or something that finds another one. So we get our cards before they can Bowmaster. Lava Spike is pretty dead here. Okay, we did draw a land in time for their waste, but they may also have a Plow. That's unfortunate, to say the least. Okay, that happens. So, unfortunately, Dragon Rage Channeler is not yet Delirious. Okay, Chain Lightning. Like, if I could do something here, I think I need to go for it and just hope that they don't have the Bowmaster. If they have the Bowmaster, the game's over. Because, like, I just can't sit back. Okay, Guided Souls. What's the other card here? Oh, they don't have a land. Wow, we got lucky. Okay, another Goyf. So I do need to clear this. I already have instant, so I'll just bolt it with the Chain Lightning, and that will definitely give me Delirium. My opponent is trolling me, I think. I hope they're not trying to engage in like a serious philosophical discussion while I'm trying to record this league. I do want this. I don't think they're going to be able to clear my graveyard. This is a flyer. I already have Delirium, Artifact, Land, Instant, and now Sorcery. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. No, I have another Goyf. Yeah, I'm gonna bin it. Like it's a hard call, but I need to find another land in case I find a Wasteland. I'll be like Stone Age by a Wasteland at this point. They do have a Plow, so now I Goyf, and I did throw away a Wincon, unfortunately, but I was worried about Wasteland. Okay, now I have a land, but I don't really have anything to do. I'm gonna play this. I guess I'll just end step fetch Surveil. I don't want to like. Now I'm not worried about Wasteland. I'm just worried about... Okay, so now they could, like, Amped Raptor, they could do lots of stuff and explode. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Surveil. This is a pretty good card. I want to keep it. Yeah. I mean, these are 5/6s at this point. I don't think they have a way to shrink them. I'm going to go ahead and come across first. Just keep my Lightning Bolt mana up in case I need to get something out of the way. Okay, they do have something to play. Hopefully it's just like a Bowmasters. But it might be yet another Plow. Yeah, Bowmasters is fine. All right, they ping. They're just probably going to chump here. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and Goyf again. I don't imagine they have any sweepers. They may have Wrath of the Skies. And then I'm going to go ahead and Lava Spike them. And if they don't have Wrath of the Skies and another land, they're probably dead here. I've got 2 removal spells. Okay, Street Wraith. We can't do that until after we attack, but I think they're going to probably chump here, and then I can do it. Yeah, I can't do anything special here. I'll just let this happen, and then they can block as they wish, and we'll continue to get card advantage. Okay, interesting. So they're taking 5, choosing to keep these around. Well, I'll just do stuff at instant speed here. If they make the mistake of fetching or something, I've got the bolt. Ocelot Pride. That's fine. I'll just get rid of that. Do I want to get rid of it now? I think I do. Just so they don't gain life. And now, in case I draw a second thing, I can do something here. Okay, and now they're dead in a number of ways, but I'll go ahead and attack. Okay, they have another plow. They are doing a great job of staying alive. But it's not going to be enough because they're tapped out. They could solitude their own creature, but that still wouldn't be enough. I think they're dead. All right, so final round is final game is going to be really hard. Again, I want to emphasize this is a bad matchup. It's a very bad matchup. I don't like Lava Spike here at all. I think Hexing Squelcher might actually be better. I think my opponent's just trolling me. They're a vintage gamer, if that tells you anything about them. No shit at vintage gamers. This is a great hand. This is not quite the nuts if we had the... of course, they're going to have like 6 Swords to Plowshares and everything, but we're going to try our best. They mulled a 5. Okay, I like it. They're probably going to get Leyline here, and that does do a lot to slow our roll. They don't have Leyline. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to Moonshadow. Yeah, like the fact that I was like making fun of them being a vintage player, that tells me that I'm getting on tilt. I'm letting them get under my skin. I need to toughen up. Check this out. Chat, hide. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and just do our thing here. And I'm going to crack all these bubbles before any of the nasty stuff can come down. And I know that does forgo some of the benefit that I could have with DRC, and I'm just going to accept it. Go do this first. I mean, they're almost certainly going to plow this, and it's not going to connect, but I do want to dig through all these, get through all these. Okay, that's fine. Okay, their top card is a therapy. All right. So it's actually beneficial for me to just play these out, and okay, that was a very quick tap on tap. So, I mean, like, my thinking was, okay, if I wait, then they therapy and I have fewer cards in hand. But the problem is they could draw a Bowmaster and lock these. So I'm just going to do them now. Okay, and I think they'll do it in between these two. Same therapy. Let's look at their hand here. Okay, and now they're going to plow. So they deny me a little bit of life. Okay. All right, so we get 3 new cards. They have an Amped Raptor that's terrifying. Yeah, that's great card advantage. So we'll draw our 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, lots of DRCs. So next turn, if they don't waste us, we can do stuff. But I think what are they going to do here? They're probably going to Amp Raptor. Like, you probably should Amp Raptor. Hopefully they hit like Static Prison or Plow or something. Nope, they hit freaking Bowmasters. Okay, it's not that devastating against our deck. And it's better, I guess, now than later, but okay. And I have nothing against vintage gamers, but like it's just not my type of format. Okay, so unfortunately, I think we could DRC. I don't need to kill either of these. I could Moonshadow and then Chain Lightning this, and then I could cycle through. I think what I want to do, they're not representing... Gosh, I have to take more damage for this. We've gotten the worst matchups for playing the Blood Crypt version. I absolutely wish I was playing the Badlands version. I mean, getting double Delirious DRCs would be pretty sweet. We know they have a Cabal Therapy that they can fire off next turn, but they don't have the black mana. But they could take our Chain Lightning. I think I'm going to go ahead and Moonshadow, and then I'm going to DRC, and I'll just do 1. That way I diversify my threats a little bit. But unfortunately, this does mean that if they find a Bowmaster, we are going to lose the DRC. Okay, Guided Souls. That's not the end of the world. I'll clear that for sure. Okay, that attacks. They don't have the energy. We take it. So I think this turn... Gosh, if I drew a land, it'd simplify things so much. That's a good draw. So I need to clear this for sure. It's too risky to leave it on the table. Let's go ahead and do that. This gives me a Surveil trigger. I will bend that bubble. That grows the Moonshadow. Now I can attack, and I can deploy another Nethergoyf. I think that's good enough. I could actually deploy a second DRC. If I bolt this, then I get a Surveil trigger. I think I do want to bolt this just because I get like a lot of additional combat damage. Because this kills this. That goes in the yard. That buffs. And then I can also Street Wraith to grow. And they don't have a second blocker, so they're going to take more damage. I'm at 11. Can I die from here? All right, let's hit for 8. All right, and we've got plenty of backup threats. We just need to not have them go plow. Now they have black mana. They can therapy us. They're going to be able to snag our Netherglyphs if they so desire. It's really unfortunate. Okay, that is absolutely brutal. They may be able to kill us now. That was just an insane, 2 cards. Okay, so therapy gives our Netherglyphs. And then they probably just bomb this. And then they have plenty of creatures to protect the Moonshadow. Yeah, that's the game. That's legacy for you. This did grow. They only have 3 creatures, but they can kill this, and then we attack, and then they just double block, and they'll have cats for the rest of the game. Okay, so this is full-size Moonshadow now. And even if I clear one of these, I'll have to clear 2 of them. They get an attack, but I'm going to absolutely clear this. If I remove this, then they just have this engine that doesn't do anything. We'll see what I draw. I'm going to go ahead and do this first, and then I'll bubble. They'll lose both of these. Yeah, that's unfortunately too late. I'll just do this now while they can't Bowmaster me. Okay, so we'll just attack Ajani and then they'll double block. They could let it go. There's no way they let it go. They're going to double block. Okay. And so it survives. And then it just bombs this. But it can't actually kill this. They need another card. Another DRC. This is a really good game. I wish I wasn't tilted for my opponent just being weird. Is this another Amped Raptor? Gumbo Bombardment. Okay. So they can create the creature. They can ping. They can 0 and then they can ping. And they can hold this back. Okay. But now they're hellbent. And I can kill a Johnny. Okay. I think I might be able to win this one if they don't just top deck insane cards. I do want to kill a Johnny. So I can bring back a Netherglyph. Is that better than just DRCing here? DRC blocks this. I think it's better to just DRC and then I can fetch Surveil. I still have a Surveil in my deck, I believe. Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit a Johnny. DRC comes out. And after we finish this game, I will show you the trash. It's so distracting. Yeah, that's fine. They don't have good attacks. They're not dead on board. Go ahead and fetch Surveil. So now I've done 1 damage to myself, but I have the ability to bring back Netherglyph unless they're conscientious enough to waste me here, which they should have done a while back. They are. That's good for them. That's smart. Okay. I think we might actually die here. We have to attack with DRC. Actually, no, wait. I can cast this and use it to bring back a Netherglyph. That works. So we've been that. And then I'm just thinking okay, so they attack with this. They attack with this. They get some cats. I think I do attack with everything and then bring back the Netherglyph. And then let's say hypothetically they draw Plow. Well, then they kill me, right? No. Netherglyph will be big. He'll probably still be a 5/6 after I exile all the stuff because I've got, let's take a look. So I have creature, artifact. I have only 1 sorcery. And is that only 1 instant? Yeah, so he's going to be a 4/5. But I think that's still big enough. Yeah. This wouldn't even be close if I wasn't playing these shock lands. I'm just trying to think of so they could attack for 2, 3, but then they get an extra 1 and then they can bombard me with everything. So they have the potential to do 6 damage. I don't think they have the potential to do 6 damage around Goyf. I could just keep this back with the Goyf and then they don't have good attacks for sure. So I think that is the line. So if this has to attack, I'll just attack with this. And I'll have a 4/5 Goyf. So artifact, land, creature, instant. I have more instants than I have sorcery. So this should be a 4/5. Yeah. And now we'll pass. Voice of Victory is devastating. Absolutely devastating. Because now they can throw tons of bombardment stuff. So I have to kill them this turn cycle. I'm going to be attacking all, I think. Let's see if I can just draw something that makes it simple, like a Fire Blast. Bowmasters pings this, and then they have to double block. Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. Let's think about this. So I want them to have to double block this. So I just do this, then they throw it. They kill my dude. They could throw all 3 at this. I don't think that's likely to happen. I'm going to go ahead and do it before attacks. Yeah, this one gains life. I'll do that one. Okay, and they did that. So we've got our extra body that can... Oh, wait, we don't get the body. So I think they're like everything dies here. It's just a force block on this. And I just want to make 100% sure. So we attack for 10. Like they have to double block this. They have to lose both of their creatures in combat. And then they can't win, right? Because if they do block this, then they're taking 7. And they're not going to be able to kill that in the air. Yeah, so we just attack all. And then they have to rip something incredible here. They can ping us twice. They could draw like a Bowmaster, I guess. I think if they draw exactly Bowmaster, that's 4 damage. So yeah, they ping and then they sack twice. No, it's not. It's not 4 damage. I don't actually like. They could Raptor into something crazy, like Raptor into Bowmaster. Okay, good game. No, wait, they can activate this, but I don't think it matters anymore. All right. So that was the 3-2. It was very hard fought. That final round was extremely unfavorable. We can go into the proverbial salt mines. I mean, I want to be charitable to my opponent, but like the way they were talking to me, it just seemed like totally bully type, like get inside your head, like schoolyard stuff. Let's take a look at what they were saying. Yeah, so they did say good luck. They said, are you excellent or are you inspiring others to be excellent? Like, is it aspirational? I said, encouraging others to be excellent. I see. Like, I could have just said, it's freaking Bill and Ted. Come on, dude. You don't know Bill and Ted? That's the reason. And then, how do you think of excellence? I think it's swell. No, I mean, what do you think of the elements? And then, is it related to competitive integrity? Playing as well? It's both. Not very clear. Can you elaborate? Lag test. You know, like, I'm sorry, but just... You're the kind of person that makes people just not want to deal with the chat. I don't know if you're well-intentioned and you're just trying to have a conversation, but like, this is Magic. Let's focus on the game. So, okay. The deck felt great. So where we lost was Ruby Storm, which is predictably very difficult. The one matchup that Hexing Squelcher came in, he was just insane. Did we go against Moonstompy this match? I think it was right before. Like, I didn't have Hexing Squelcher in my deck, but I was able to win just by virtue of them like getting too low and me being able to Bowmaster them and Fire Blast. And that was a great game. I didn't capture it on film. Good news is this league did not get eaten by my computer. I lost a perfectly good league where I 4-1 with this deck just due to like OBS, my open broadcast software not working. So again, I love the software. It's open source, it's free. I'm not complaining about it at all. But something happened and it ate my data and I didn't have that league for you. But this was a great league to share with you anyway. I apologize for what I said about vintage gamers. I did not mean to offend any vintage gamer. I just want to be very clear. I was like, he's a vintage gamer. He loves trolling. Like there was definitely like you think like Mike Long and you think like I think he's been banned from, he would do like crazy stuff to get inside your opponent's head and stuff. Like that might just be part of vintage. Maybe vintage players are chill. I will say legacy players are super chill. It's rare that I run into anybody that's toxic in any way in the legacy community. I went to Eternal Weekend the year before last. I didn't go last year because of the Entomb winter. But during that time, I played 11 rounds. 11 of them, all 11 of them were extremely chill human beings. Gracious even in defeat. And like I've heard the same thing from like a lot of other people, like legacy players are the best. So I'm not saying anything negative. Like I'm actually totally ignorant of the vintage scene because I just don't play vintage. It's not my bag, like the variants and everything. A lot of people can cope with having like your opponent draw some insane card that is totally banned in legacy, but just completely wrecks you. Because it's in the card pool for some reason, because I guess the philosophy is everybody gets to play with even the most broken cards like Loris. So let's take a look at the deck. Again, no shade to vintage. That's just my personal philosophy. And it was out of line for me to say, oh, they're a vintage gamer. That's why. That is, not productive. That's not how things should go down. So let's take a look here. Hexing Squelcher, incredible card. I'm not sure if it's a 3 of, but it definitely didn't seem bad. We could go up on Burn. Burn was pretty awesome throughout the league, helping us close games. Bowmasters was incredible. It's hard to play fewer than 4 Bowmasters. Like, my instinct is probably to go like this and just, go back to our old version and play Hexing Squelcher in the sideboard instead of the artifact destruction card. Maybe go down to 3 of these, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then Squelcher. I think we do need enough answers, but like Bowmaster is so strong. And then what you could probably do, if you want to, you could play like, Douthie or something. But I mean, we could play some of these. We could play 1 main, maybe 2 main. We definitely don't have 3. So maybe I just rebalance a little bit to where, yeah. And then I don't think we need 4 Pyroblasts, but I think this is a good split. Yeah. So I'll leave it there. I'm loving this deck. It's so fun to play. There is a lot of thinking involved, even though it is like a lot easier than a blue deck, to be completely candid. You don't have to worry about like pondering. And the thing about this deck is you're never playing from behind. You're almost always lean forward. You're almost always the beatdown, even on the draw, which is refreshing. So I hope you're having fun playing Legacy. I hope you're getting out there, not taking too much damage from your Shocklands if you're on the budget route that I'm taking here. I just figure I take one for the team. I have Badlands in person, but like I want to show that this deck can win, even though it's hobbled by taking damage in the aggro matchups. That does come up against Blue-Black Tempo, for example. So, is there another card? Maybe we just want to play one more? I don't know. It's tough. I think I'd play a 4th Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is so solid. Like 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Orcish Bowmaster in your black deck. I almost feel like that's just obligatory at this point. I'm going to go get my kids ready for bed. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.